What is relevant to ask psychologically is, was this individual psychopathic? Did Ed Gein display psychopathic traits? Now, there is a misconception about this. Of course, he's not alive. I was not able to identify that he had any particular psychopathic psychological tests to share any actual data to support such a diagnosis. But a lot of people have believed that he was psychopathic simply because of how grotesque and how disturbing some of the things that he did with his victims were. And yet, an individual to engage in some of those behaviors does not actually have to be psychopathic, does not actually have to show severe psychopathic traits. If somebody does have severe psychopathic traits, they will score very high on something like the Psychopathy Checklist Revised, devised by Robert Hare. But it's important to understand, though, that psychopathy, severe psychopathic traits, exist on the most severe end of even the antisocial personality spectrum. So, not only with psychopathic traits do you have the lack of remorse, the lack of empathy that you see with antisocial personality, but you even have a much more complex set of personality characteristics that can include, for example, a trait like duping delight, an individual who actually gets gratification, gets a sense of delight from duping others, conning others, exploiting others into believing something, for example. So, did Ed Gein show those types of psychopathic traits? That was never evident. In fact, by all accounts, it sounds like Ed Gein had some degree of emotional suffering, that he did have the capacity for remorse, and that he almost seemed to be tortured between these two different selves, one that was a very violent self and another that was really kind of like a scared, timid, regressed, highly underdeveloped individual. The actor who plays Ed Gein in the series, Charlie Hunnam, he does an amazing job capturing the way that Ed Gein spoke, the mannerisms, and it's really disarming.